Greetings, it's the New York Thrifter here, and day 2 of my new Flipping 20 challenge, where I take $20 and I walk new eBay resellers how to get started. So yesterday what we did is we signed up for our eBay account and all of the different accounts associated with it, including PayPal. And we also went shopping where we picked up the first of the clothes that are going to be listed on eBay. So first up, I grabbed this Sparrow sweater. Sparrow is an Anthropologie brand, which does very well reselling. I purchased it for $3, and as you can see, it is really bright with some great floral graphics on it. I always like to get things that are bright and floral because they really stand out in pictures, and you can really get some great keywords going on. And I will walk you through keywords here in a little bit. But so this is the first piece, Sparrow. Next, I grabbed this Athleta exercise top. This is an extra large. I always like to see large, extra large, 2X has really great resale value. So for this Athleta exercise, workout tops and bottoms usually do really well. I paid $3 for this. That's actually $2.99. This is some kind of date they put on it. I'm really not sure. Anyway, so this is our Athleta long sleeve top, and I want to show you if you look on the tag for Athleta pieces, you're going to be able to see a style number. Oh, here it is. It's right here. So this is the style number for this Athleta piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go online, I'm going to look up that style number, and I'm going to find out the exact name of this piece. And by putting that exact name in the title of my eBay listing, I have a much better shot at selling this because there could be somebody that is specifically looking for this piece. Okay. This is a J. Crew extra small dress. Extra small isn't obviously an ideal size because it really narrows down your buyer who's going to be able to buy it. I did spend $3 on this, and it is a plain black dress, and so it's not ideal. However, J. Crew always does really well for me. So for a $3 J. Crew piece, I was definitely willing to take the risk. Now, J. Crew, much like Athleta, has style numbers associated with all of their pieces. So if you look on here, I've got a style right there, and it also says Spring '09. So I know this was in their Spring 2009 line. So that is the third piece. The fourth piece is going to be this 41 Hawthorne small top. It's got a chevron zigzag design with a high-low hem. Now, if you are unfamiliar with designs or styles, don't worry about that. We're going to go through how to find those when creating keywords a little bit later on in this video. I ended up spending $2 on this piece, and the reason why 41 Hawthorne tends to do very well is it is part of Stitch Fix, which is an online service that delivers clothes, women's clothes, I believe once a month, and anything that you like out of the box that Stitch Fix sends, you get to keep and pay for. Everything else you send back. So it's kind of having a stylist that sends clothes straight to your house. So people that get the box and they like something, they might go online to buy a second piece just in case the first one gets used or worn out. Or what they'll do is they'll find the things that they like and then they'll go online to buy them because it would be cheaper to buy this online than through the Stitch Fix box. Now, the fifth piece that I picked up was a London Times size 10 dress. Size 10, excellent size. It's definitely going to widen our customer base. I picked this up for $3. Dresses tend to do very well in the resale because you just get more bang for your buck. You get a whole outfit, a whole dress, rather than just a top or pants. And something else that I really liked about this is it's got some color blocking on it and really bright colors. So again, this is going to stand out in any pictures that are taken of it. And a lot of people, when they're on eBay, they scroll through and they look primarily at pictures to make the choice on what to click on. So anytime that you have an interesting fabric or interesting design or bright colors, that is always a really good thing. Okay, so now that we've gone through all of the different pieces that were picked up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wash everything. Now, I know some people don't do this, and I'm a big believer in washing everything, and there's a few reasons for that. First of all, if you go online and on YouTube and you hear about people talking about thrift stores or talking about going to the Goodwill bins, and they tell you how there's smells and they find weird things in the bins, and they also talk about how when they get home they put all of the clothes they got from thrift stores in like they're in a different room so their house doesn't smell like a thrift store. And to my mind, if you don't want your house to smell like a thrift store, you don't want to send clothes out to have somebody else's house smell like a thrift store. Remember, people are purchasing these. You are selling clothes, and so to deliver the absolute best experience you can, I feel like you need to wash the clothes. Everyone's going to be different, and if you decide not to wash the clothes, that is entirely up to you. But for me, it is an absolute necessity. So as you can see, what I'm doing now is I'm very carefully removing all of the tags from these pieces so I can pop them in the laundry. Yesterday, if you saw the video, I went to the dollar store where I purchased some scent-free detergent. And the reason for that is as much as you might like a scent on your clothes, or you use maybe fabric sheets that adds a smell, you don't want to do this because there are people that are very sensitive to scents. And so I like to use an unscented detergent, so hopefully when it gets out of the wash, all of these things are going to smell like nothing. They're just going to be, whoever wears them is going to be really happy because they are just going to be freshly washed, freshly laundered. Another reason why I put these through the wash is sometimes we don't see, different stains or different dirt on them until later. So for instance, on this Athleta piece, I think it's picking this up. There's a little bit of dust on this. I think what happened is it fell on the floor in the Salvation Army and gathered some dust from the floor. So what I'm going to do is I am going to wash this. If you don't wash your things, you might have missed that there's this, this dirt or dust on them, and you might have sent this out to a buyer, and when they got it, they would see that it was dirty, and that's definitely something that you don't want to do. So like I said, next up is going to be washing all of these things with some scent-free detergent, and because it's not a full load, I'm actually just going to add some of my home laundry into the bunch to make a full load, and so it'll be real easy to get this done. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do now that our clothes are washed and dried is we are going to be measuring them and filling out our seller spreadsheet. You're going to recognize a spreadsheet from yesterday's video. I have a link down below to yesterday's video in case you need to download this or just check this out again if you missed it. I also have the tape measure that we purchased at the dollar store yesterday, so I'm going to open this up. There we go. Okay, so the first thing on the spreadsheet is the design and color. So let's start with our London Times dress. The color is going to be gray, white, black, and blue. As for the design, I am going to show you later on how to choose which design this dress is, the shape of the dress. So the size and measurements. This is a size 10. Oh, sorry, a little too high there. This is a size 10. So I'm going to be writing down size 10. As for measurements, I'm going to be doing the underarm and the length. Now, underarm, also considered the bust, is when you take it and you go from laying flat, the underarm here, all the way over to here. So for this one, we're looking at 18 inches. So I'm going to write that down. And the length is going to be the back collar all the way down to the bottom of the hemline. So when I do that, we're looking at that is right at 34 inches. Now, sometimes you're going to be doing the waist as well. However, this is what you consider an open waist or a free waist. There's no belt, there's no gathering here, so you really don't have to do a waist measurement. I will be looking at the materials next, what the dress is made out of. So here I'm going to find the material tag right here. And it looks like we've got 97 cotton and 3 spandex. The condition is great use condition. Okay, so now we've got this filled out. One more thing that I like to include is how an item closes, and this has a zipper back. So I'm going to write that in the description. Back zipper. Okay, so we have all of the measurements we need for that one. Next up is our 41 Hawthorne shirt. So for this one, I'm going to be doing the color and design. It's a chevron design. It is a 3/4 sleeve. Now what 3/4 sleeve means is it is not a full-length sleeve. This only goes down to the wearers under their elbow. So that's what 3/4 sleeve mean. Chevron is the design, the zigzag design that is on it. And if you have any questions about that, we will be going through how to choose a design in a little bit. It's got 3 buttons down the front. And it is blue and white. So now for the measurements. Again, we're going to be going the underarm area or bust area. And for this one, it looks like about 17 inches. Oh, and this is a small. So size, small, underarm, 17 inches. And the length, again, we're going to be going to from the back collar all the way to the bottom of the hemline. So when I measure that, it looks to be 24 inches. So length is 24 inches. Again, I'm not doing a waist measurement because this is a free waist. However, I do want to do the fabric contents. So looking at here, it is 100% rayon. And it is in great used condition. So we have just measured this. Okay, Athleta top is up next. Now, because this has a style number, we're going to be able to look up the style. So I'm not going to be too worried about that. I am going to write down that it is blue. It has long sleeves and it has a thumb hole on the sleeve where your thumb, when you're wearing it, your thumb goes through. So long sleeves and a thumb hole. This is a size extra large. So I'm going to be putting this down. We are going to be doing an underarm measurement, bust measurement. And that is, it looks like 20 inches. So underarm is 20 inches. Next up, you're going to be measuring from the back collar all the way down to the hem. So when we do that, it looks like we're right at 27.5 inches. So length is 27.5. For the contents, I'm looking at this and it's 45% nylon, 5% spandex, and 50% poly. So 50 poly, 45 nylon, 5 spandex. Now earlier we saw that there was some dust and grime on the bottom. So I'm going to look at it right now to make sure that it all got off in the washing machine. Because if there's any stains, we're not going to call it great used condition. But you know what? All of that gunk washed right out. So this is great used condition. Next up is our Sparrow sweater. And for this is actually a cardigan because it opens. So I'm going to put, instead of Sparrow sweater, I'm going to put cardigan. And it has 7 buttons going down the front. So 7 button closure. It is a floral design. Blue, yellow, green, white, and gray. Long sleeve. And it also has a geometric print on both the arms as well as on the hem here. Okay, we are going to see what the size is. The underarm is at 20 inches. This is a small. Underarm is 20 inches. Back collar all the way down to the hem is going to be, let's say, 26 inches. Length. As for the materials, this is 100% cotton. So we're going to write that down. Now with this piece, it's an okay used condition. I do see a little bit of wash wear on it. And so I'm actually going to write that down. Wash wear. And this is normal wash wear. No stains, no holes. Okay, so we're done with the Sparrow. And for the last piece, this is our J. Crew piece. This is size extra small. So we're going to do a black dress, size extra small. Now this, remember, had a style number on it. So we're going to be looking up the name of this piece online. So we don't have to get too specific right now. We are going to take the measurements. So for the underarm, we're going to go from here to here. We're looking at 17 inches on this one. And then I'm going to go from the top of one of the sleeves all the way down to the hem. And it looks like that is hitting right at 39 inches. I want to jump in here real quick and make clear why I went from the top of the shoulder on this dress down to the hem in order to measure the length. On the other pieces, I used the back collar down to the hem to measure. However, for this piece, the back of the collar is rounded and goes pretty far down the wearer's back. So I thought a better measurement for this would be the top of the shoulder to the hem to show the length. This really is something that you have to decide what would be more useful for the buyer to know. We're going to see what this is made out of. 93% viscose, 7% spandex. Okay, and this is in very good used condition. There's a few more things that we need to fill out on the spreadsheet before we're able to list our items. So I'm headed to Google. I type in for our Athleta piece the style number that was on the tag. Once I type that in, I like to go to images because I can scroll through the images easily and find the exact piece that I have. And sure enough, right at the first, you see this Athleta piece. I'm going to click on it. This is the one that was purchased at the thrift store. I'm going to copy the name. This is the Athleta Women's Fastest Track Long Sleeve Top. So once I copy that, I'm going to go to eBay. On eBay, I'm going to plug in the name of it, and then you'll see I'm on the left side. I'm scrolling down the sidebar until I hit the sold listings. The reason I only look at sold listings is because anybody can list anything for any amount. So if I go to the sold listings, I know what things have actually sold for. So I see there's a green piece that were new that sold for around $39 a piece. I'm scrolling to see if I can find my used piece, and I do right here. Women's Athleta Fastest Track Top with long sleeves. And it sold twice quite recently, or I should say in December. You can see the date that it sold on the right-hand side there. And so looking at these prices, I think I want to list this for about $24 or best offer. Next up, I'm going to type in the J. Crew dressed style number that I have. So once I click on that, I find the piece in gray, and it is the dressy jersey ruffle dress. So I copy that, I go back to eBay, I plug in the name of this J. Crew piece, make sure that I am in sold listings, which I am, and there's only one piece, so I go with the recommendation to widen my search a little bit. And I'm seeing some prices here. This is a gray one that sold in January for $25. Scrolling, looking for the black piece that I have. And this sold in November for $19.98. So what I'm going to do for this J. Crew, I'm going to list it at about $24 or best offer, where people can make offers on the piece. I also want to see what my 41 Hawthorne top would go for. So I type that in. I am in the sold listings. So I can see what similar tops have sold for. Now the first couple are didn't go for a lot. And if you see, they don't have the word Stitch Fix or the phrase Stitch Fix in the title. 41 Hawthorne is sold through Stitch Fix. The pieces that have Stitch Fix in the title actually go for significantly more money. So that right away tells me I definitely want to put Stitch Fix in my title. I found the shirt that I have. It is a black and white popover. I have the blue and white popover. And this sold recently for $24.99. So I know my price to be competitive can be $24.99. I put the Sparrow cardigan, and then I also put floral to give a little bit of descriptor of what I have. Anthropology, as you can see, is in this title because that is the company that Sparrow sells through. So I'm looking at the different prices, and there is a big difference in prices. This one is $9.95 with one bid. That tells me that it was in an auction. This one is $15.50 with bid, so that was an auction as well. This was a buy it now for $24.99. So while I'm looking at this, I'm really going to have to make the decision how much I want to price my sweater at, because it really is kind of all over the place. Anything from $10 up to $20 or $30 for these sweaters. So because there is wear on mine, I'm going to be listing it at $16.99 or best offer, and I feel like that's going to be a really good way to move this item. For the final piece, to see how much we're going to price it at, I am going to type in London Times dress color block. I see one here for $32, one for a little over $10, one for $5, one for $17, which is a buy it now, one for $32, which was a buy it now. So I'm going to have to make the decision again on how much to price this dress for. I want to move it quickly, so I believe what I'm going to do is I'm going to list it at about $16.99, and I'm going to see if I have any takers or if somebody wants to do a best offer. Now, I promised to show you some of the different styles and how you would go about describing an item. So I'm going to go onto Pinterest, and we went through Pinterest yesterday and why you need an account. And so if you go to Flipping 20, that's my account, I have saved some different styles that I think are important to know. This first one that we're looking at is women's neck styles, so necklines. So here is the Sweetheart neckline, which kind of makes a little bit of a heart. A square neckline, which is, of course, square. This is a scoop or rounded neckline. So if you're ever having to describe any necklines, you can pretty much see right here all of the different ways to do that. Next up, I am going to skirt lengths and find out what you call a mini, a midi, knee length, maxi, full, and this just shows you if you are trying to describe where a skirt or where a dress hits a woman, then you can just look at this and you can find the appropriate way to describe that. I also have dressed styles here, and so I'm going to click on one of these dress styles, and I find right away the shift dress, and that is exactly what we have with our London Times dress. It's a shift dress, so I know exactly how I'm going to describe it. Looking around, I also see a high waist. This is what our J. Crew dress is a high waist. So again, I know exactly how I'm going to be describing that as high-waisted. Here are some pattern descriptors. I told you I'd show you where I know chevron from, and it's right here, the zigzag chevron, which is our 41 Hawthorne shirt. You're probably all familiar with floral if you have a flower in the pattern, but I did wanted to show you on here it has the floral pattern as well. So this is how we are going to go about describing our clothes. Let's get photographing. So I find that one of the best rooms in the house to photograph in is my son's playroom. So I'm opening up the curtains and putting down that white poster board that we purchased yesterday at the dollar store. So I'm laying down the 41 Hawthorne shirt and getting it all kind of even, making sure that it's looking good. This is considered a flat lay because you're laying the item down flat. And I'm going to go grab my phone, which I'm using as a camera, and I'm going to click away. The more photos you can use for eBay, the better. Sometimes you kind of run out of things to photograph, but I will go through the different things that I like to include. You are allowed up to 12 photos in your eBay listing, and if you can use all 12, then more power to you. I usually get to about 9 or 10 before I kind of run out of things to see. So uh, once I have everything done, I grab a picture of the fabric tag. So that's what you're seeing there is me looking around for that fabric tag. So I snap a pic of that. I am done with that shirt. As you can see, photography doesn't take too long. I know sometimes people, this is kind of their problem area is they don't have the time, or they don't think they have the time to photograph. But once you have your system all set up and you find an area that has proper light in it, lighting is always going to be key. Later on, once we have some more money, I'm going to be walking you through a couple of light sets so you'd be able to photograph at any time, day or night. But right now, we're just using the natural light from outside. So this is the sparrow sweater, and I'm just taking a bunch of flat lay photos of it, getting everything evened out. And so yeah, so this is how you photograph. I'm going in because I want a detail of the different fabrics and what the fabrics are, and then of course going back for the fabric tag. Now I'm looking around here for my scissors because I noticed on the fabric tag that there was a little bit of threads coming out, not enough to make the fabric tag fall off, but enough to make it look a little sloppy. So I go in with my scissors, which we purchased yesterday from the dollar store, and I just take away those little bits of threads to make it look that much neater. When something only takes a few seconds and it doesn't really hurt your flow, I always suggest doing that. These are the pictures that I took. Here is the flat lay of the 41 Hawthorn, and this is the full front. This is the label or tag because people want to know that they're getting their label, their company that they think. This is the 3-button front as well as the pocket. This is an up close of the chevron pattern for the piece. I always like to take some up close pics of that. This is a 3/4 length sleeve with the little roll sleeve. Not my best picture, but you take what you can get. This is the back view of that piece. So you show the full back. This is a closer version of what that back would look like when you're wearing it. Here is the fabric content tag so everybody can see what it is made out of. A lot of people don't read the description, so they might not know. I took this picture on my rug. The reason I did that is this is a do not do in my book. The reason this is a do not do is you don't want people thinking that their clothes have been on the floor. This is a flat lay picture just on my bedspread. Again, this is a do not do. It just looks kind of wrinkly and not really that nice. And so for $1 for the poster board, you can get a really nice flat lay. So next up, we're in my office. This is my upstairs office. I'm taking down my son's artwork because there's some really great light in this room. So I want to show you another option. If you don't want to do a flat lay, you can just take down a piece of artwork in a room that has good lighting. You can grab a hanger and you can do a hanging photo to where you put your piece up, hang it on the wall, arrange it so it looks nice. I go back in and I kind of roll up those sleeves just a little bit so they are looking sharp. So once I have those all done, I go back, I grab my phone, which I'm using as my camera, and I just start snapping away. One thing that I want you to think about is even if you are going to be doing hanging photos, I also do some photography on
the poster board, and that is for the label as well as the fabric tag. I find that sometimes it can be difficult doing the label and the fabric tag while hanging up. But I do like the way the hanging up looks. It's a little less wrinkly. You're going to see some of the same shots that I used before with the pocket and the buttons, the full front, the chevron design. This is kind of taken from the side if you're wearing it. This is the 3/4 length sleeve. Again, this is hanging up. This is the high-low hemline where the front is high, the back is low. This is the full back of the piece, an insert of that back. So I have all the same pieces. I just took them while, or all the same photos. I just took them while it was hanging up, and then I used my same flat lay for the fabric tag. This is a do not do in my book when you're taking pictures right there on the closet. I just don't particularly like it because it really gets in the way of seeing the images when things are in the background. So I would choose not to do that. This is a dress that I took photos of. This is the J. Crew dress. I hung up. I've got the fabric tag and there's a little string. So I cut the string off and I hold the tag down with a pen so I can take a photo so people can see the brand on there. I'm just snapping a bunch of photos for this dress to try to show people what it's going to look like. This is the back view. An insert of the back view. Again, I'm just taking as many photos as I can to show different pieces. That is the fabric content tag, and I just hold it down with the pen. Okay, that's going to be it for day number 2. We went through how to describe the clothes, how to photograph them, whether to wash or not. I hope you found this really helpful. You've got some decisions to make right now for the clothes that you're picking up, whether or not you want to do a flat lay for them or you want to do hanging photos. Some people use mannequins. For me, that's going to come later on in this challenge because obviously starting with $20, we don't really have the funds for that quite yet, but I will be going through that later on. Right now, what I really want to focus on is the fact that a lot of these things, they may look difficult. However, when you actually sit down to do them, when you have everything in place, it really doesn't take too much time to find the descriptors, to take the photos, and to really get started on eBay. And so I want to just reach out to all of you that are thinking about doing this, that it is doable. It is absolutely not something that's out of your wheelhouse. I have a sister who says, oh no, I wouldn't be good at that. And I just keep trying to tell her, no, you really would be good at this. Anybody can do this if you just have the tools that you need. And so thank you so much for following me on day 2 of Flipping 20, where we take $20 and we're going to be seeing how far we can flip that on eBay. Tomorrow we are going to get into the nitty-gritty of actually listing pieces on eBay. So I hope you can come back and join me. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, and you can find me on Instagram. I am the New York Thrifter. Thanks so much.